All right, New York Giants fans, it's Tim, New York Giants Trade Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Oh, we are going to talk about some stuff today. We're going to talk about the Scatterboo. We're going to talk about the New York Giants running back room. We're hopefully going to be talking about it with Ahman Green, the former Packer, great running back. Still waiting, and we're waiting. Still waiting for him to come on right now. We haven't. He was confirmed, so he might be running a little bit late. You never know. But we still gonna have a lot of fun right now while we're waiting for our special guest. And he's going to be hopefully here in a moment. But you know what? We need to talk about a little bit. Do we need to talk about the Pirates? Do we need to talk about Ryan's Big Blue Podcast is already in chat saying, "What's up, go Tim?" What's up, Tim? Everything's going on. Jay John says, "Let's go, G-Man." Isaiah, Mr. Jackson says, "Good morning, Tim." Good morning, sir. How you doing, my friend? James says, "Good morning, Tim." Blackbird, good morning. I got my tickets for week 1, the Commanders game. James and I are going to make a pilgrimage to Buffalo. I guess you could say James and I are shuffling off to Buffalo because of the fact that we are going to go to the Bills and Giants preseason game in Buffalo. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Take that Packers jersey. First of all, it's not just a Packers jersey. It's my Malik Willis jersey. It's my Malik Willis Packers jersey. Hopefully Mr. Green will be here any moment now. I have checked the emails. I checked the X, and there's been no cancellations, so he might be just running a little bit late. T-Brad says, "Let's go." T-Brad also says, "Hit the like button if you're going to the next Diddy party." No, I don't think we want to go to the Diddy party. Miguel says, "Good morning, Tim." Brandon says, "Sup," with the Packers jersey. Well, hopefully, like I said, hopefully we're going to have Ahman Green here in a few minutes. So, I'm actually wearing my Malik Willis Packers jersey, not just a Packers jersey. This is the Malik Willis jersey. You got to remember that. Packer great. Packer legend, Malik Willis. Blackbird said, "I'm trolling him." I know you are, my brother. My gal says, "Also hit the like button, guys." We got to talk about the pirate chest while we're waiting for our special guest. We brought this up a little bit ago, and the pirate chest is just, I don't know, man. I was on Ryan's Big Blue Podcast. If you don't know Ryan, make sure you go and check that damn chest out. And I keep thinking about it over and over again. I keep thinking about the great coaches in NFL history, guys that would be like, "Hey, you know what? Let's do something silly. Let's have some fun here. You know what? Let's have a pirate chest. Our mateys." Yeah, well, I don't know. I call it Harry High School. I call it, if you're trying to motivate your young guys with a pirate chest, I probably don't think that's the right direction to go. I'm just throwing that out there because of the fact that if you see it in that regards, it's a shame. It really is. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense why he would do something such as this. I love the fact that he brings it around and says, "Well, it was from my son's T-ball." Well, that honestly doesn't make it any better that it's from your son's T-ball. If anything, that makes it a little bit worse. I'm just throwing out there. Even Ryan says right here, grown men with a pirate chest for motivation. And we're going to go out and attack like pirates, our mateys. We're going to be attacking like the pirates that we are. Listen, Shane Bowen, I think in some regards is the key to this Giant team in regards to making them potentially. And like I said, if you want to talk about potential, it's going to be a tall order to get this team anywhere near the playoffs, anywhere near it. But if you get them anywhere near it, it's going to have to be on defense. 100%. It's going to have to be on defense. And the problem is you have players that don't fit completely the defensive scheme. You have players that just don't make any sense at times. And you're going to have to mold all these guys and put them into one cohesive unit and get the best 11 guys on the field. That's a tall order. That really is. I mean, this is something that when you look at it, you're like, okay, how can we get this? How can we get this done? We're all still waiting for Mr. Ahman Green to come on. So I'm going to check my email to make sure there's no, this was set up by the Believe Network. I believe I can fly. So we're going to make sure we wait. We're going to make sure we give him all the ample amount of time because 10 o'clock is kind of early. So hopefully he knew it was 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, even though I did write that in the email. And I'm on the East Coast, so just gonna throw that. Just gonna throw that out there. We are gonna have another guest coming on in about 15 minutes as well, so which is gonna be good. Zacateg says we are not the Buccaneers. Even the Buccaneers don't have a pirate chest. They have a boat. You ever bet the Tampa Stadium is beautiful, and they got the ship in the back. Are we gonna? This is the biggest question of the day. This is a big question. How soon or how long until we start seeing fans dressed up as pirates? We saw them wearing laps. How soon till the pirate paraphernalia comes flying out? Trenton says, yo, Ryan, it's the big blue. It's Ryan's big blue in the chat. Of course he is. Trenton says, next you'll be giving out gold doubloons. That was the other thing. Are they going to give, you know how they do in high school, 10 o'clock is not early. I know 10 o'clock is not early. I'm still waiting. Got so many people here. Got so many things going on. I'm still waiting. 10 o'clock is not early. But that's the other thing. You know, like they have. I always love Florida State because they put the little tomahawks on the helmet when you have a good play. How long before Shane Bowen starts handing out the balloons? What's up, Ryan? Trenton says, what's up, Ryan? We got the big Greg coming all the way from overseas saying, what's going on? Jason says, Pirates, what the blank? Are we 10 years old? I was saying it on Ryan's Big Blue podcast the other day. It reminds me of when I was a kid and I went to the dentist office. What happens in the dentist office? You get, at least in my dentist office, they had a pirate chest. When I was like 8 or 9, you had a pirate chest. In that pirate chest was goodies. All right, you got your teeth cleaned, matey. You go to the pirate chest and get a goodie. It just doesn't make sense to me. Brandon says, I remember when we used to make fun of the Giants when they would throw Gatorade on Parcells. The next thing, every team was so doing it. Really, nobody made fun. No one made fun of the Giants when we did that. No one made fun. Oh, we got. So I'm going to bring in my guest right now. My other guest. I'm still waiting for the other guest, but I'm going to bring in this guest right now because I kind of wanted to have him because we've had him on once before. Why? I got no fucking clue. We're not going to make jokes and say it's Carl Banks because Carl Banks is on vacation for 10 days, but Carl Banks will be in here, not in studio, but he's going to come on sometime during the preseason. So we're going to make sure we stay tuned for that. You know him. You love him. You want to be him. Well, not really. It's New York Giants Rush. We've had him on before. We're going to add him to the stage. It's the Joker.
What's going on?
It's the Joker's Wild.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. It's a wild Sunday.
It's a wild Sunday. We're still waiting for our special guest. I'm glad you're on because I got to run to my other computer for a second and check my laptop to make sure there was no emails that I'm missing when I came on here. Joker, I do appreciate you.
Yeah.
I'm going to change it the other way so we can see you. With that,
there we go.
With the comments on the bottom. Former college running back.
Yes. Long time ago.
Doesn't matter how long time ago. You were still a former college running back. So I'm interested to get your perspective with Mr. Green.
Yeah.
About this giant running back room, about the Scattaboo, about Tyrone Tracy. But people always forget Tyrone Tracy. This is really his first true foray into being a full-time running back. People forget. He was a wide receiver in college. He didn't start playing running back towards the end of his college career. I don't know if he played any in high school, but this is a guy that's kind of learning on the job.
Yeah, he is. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do this year. You get that second year under your belt, and he almost had 1,000 yards rushing, and he didn't play a full season or start a full season. So I do think there's a lot of potential for this running back room. So I'm excited to see, hear what Ahman has to say and get his thoughts on that. But I like the room. And people, they're forgetting about Singletary. They assume he's going to get cut, but he's a nice third addition as well. Like he can do some things also. So I like this running back room. So we'll see. The
problem with Singletary is he's got a $6 million guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
So you cut him, we're still gonna have a $6 million in dead cap space. So just as a veteran presence, Singletary, like I said, Singletary was never, he was that featured back, but I always go back to when he was with the Texans. When everyone went down during that playoff run, they didn't rely on the running game. They still relied on a rookie quarterback. which I thought was kind of interesting. And his best season was 900 plus yards, which is nothing to sneeze about.
No, not at all.
But like I said, I mean, do you have any concerns about the fumbling issues? I know he kind of corrected them towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have concerns, right? You fumble, you don't want to see that, but I think it'll be corrected this year. I mean, the other thing with Singletary too is he knows that offense, right? He's been with Dave's before, so it's a good guy that he can teach it to Cam and have a little more frequency with Tracy now too. But I think that'll get corrected. I just think this year is going to be different. So I see it, but again, how much he's going to play, I don't know. We'll see what Cam can do and how much he's impresses in training camp. But I think, yeah, I'm not worried about it because Tracy had a couple as well. So between the two of them, I think they're going to work on it and get it
Well,
resolved.
that's kind of where I was going to go with that. Tracy,
Yeah.
and again, like I said, Tracy is still learning the position. It's not
Yep.
like something that he's been accustomed to his entire life. Did you play running back most of your career, or were you? I mean, through high school and Pop Warner and all that?
I did. Yeah, I was running back, defensive back, and in college, I actually did. I was kind of like Tyron Tracy, but the opposite. So I started out as running back. They had me as receiver for 1 year because I had really good hands, and then I went back to running back the next year. So I can relate what that's like.
Well, that's why I was curious because of the fact that I mean, when he had the he had the he had the ipsies, he had the oopsies
Yeah.
early. He had the butterfingers early on when he started getting multiple carries. That went down as the season progressed.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you take a look at this running back room, the way it's constructed, and we don't know what the final outcome is going to be, but right now you assume it's going to be, of course, Tracy and Scattaboo and Singletary. Are you carrying another additional? Are you carrying another running back? Are you carrying a fourth? Are you? Because we're going to need some. The only issue I have is you're not. Scattaboo, you could probably get to play special teams.
Yeah.
I don't think Tracy is going to play special teams. I don't think Singletary is going to play special teams. So if you bring in a fourth guy, he's not only he's going to have to be that jack of all trades. He's going to have to be someone that can, play special teams and, be that, that emergency back.
Yeah, I think, the name to watch out for is Turbo Miller. So, he was out of football for a whole year. He had the year under the practice squad, got a little run last year. He's fast. He can play special teams, return man. So he can do some things there. So that is a name to watch out for to see if he makes a roster, if they try to stash him on the practice squad again. But again, being a whole year removed from football, didn't do too bad last year. So now you got that second year under your belt with him. He might be somebody to keep an eye on that could make it as a fourth. And then, you use him on special teams returns because of his speed.
Well, that's kind of the direction I was thinking they were going to go. But I mean, can you say that this giant organization right now has that bell cow back? I mean, is this going to be running back in your opinion, is this going to be running back by committee, or do you think Tracy's going to get the majority of the carries? Because I still think Scattaboo is a 2-down back.
Yeah, I think it'll be, well, let me say it this way. The organization. Yeah, he can. And so can Tracy. So that's two good backs out there. So I think it'll be running back by committee, but I do think Tracy will get the lion's share as of now. This coaching staff is higher on Tracy than the fans realize. The organization's higher him on they realize. And again, he was a rookie last year and he did some really good things. So I think you got to have in today's thing in Dayball's offense, he's going to use both backs. And I think it's a nice 1-2 punch with Tracy and Scattaboo out there if Scattaboo can do what he did in college. And I know one of the things they talked about, his 40 time. Well, listen, when you watch him on tape, his game speed is much faster when his 40 time is. So I'm not concerned about that. That's a guy that's going to run over guys. He's going to run around guys. Now, can he run everybody over like he did in college? I don't know. However, when you look at what he did against that Texas team, and that Texas team had NFL speed and NFL caliber defenders on it, he was very impressive. We all saw that, right? So I'm excited to see what those guys can do. But I do think it'll be running back committee, but I think Tracy will get the lion's share.
I like this question from the Eagle fan, Trenton Wright. The tush push with Scattaboo. Now, listen, when we tried to run the tush push, it does not work out well. It did not. The foray into that makes it seem that maybe there is a science behind it in Philadelphia. But with Scattaboo's, I'm not going to say limited size because he is 5'11", but he is only 210 pounds, 200, anywhere from 205, 210. Is we don't expect him to be that Brandon Jacobs on the goal line, or do we?
I think he can be that tough short yardage guy. I mean, again, just because he's not 6'7", he's got a low center of gravity. He's got really strong legs. He drives with, that leg power is really good. So I think he can be that short yardage guy. And we'll call it the scatter push. So there you
This guy,
go. We just coined it right here
I was
exclusively.
say, we exclusively called the scatter push right now.
Yep.
Zach wants to know though, Eric Gray, the best running back, the Gray Ghost. I hated it. I should not hate is a bad word.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah. I get you.
liked the pick of Eric Gray because he's one of these guys that when you watched him run in college, at moments he seemed to run with authority, but then if you ever really watched at the end, he kind of ran out of bounds a little bit. He kind of like, oh, I'm good. I don't need to get that extra yard, which every yard counts in the NFL. But
Yeah,
I never saw that burst of speed. I saw he looks like he's got pretty good hands coming out of the backfield because most of his success came out of coming out of the backfield, catching out of the backfield.
yep.
He's not going to be a Dave Meggett or a Tony Galbraith or anything like that. But kickoffs, we watched him fumble multiple times. Does the Gray Ghost make it?
I'd be shocked if he did. I think the Scatterbo draft kind of puts the end to Gray, but who knows at this point? I mean, the thing about Gray when he was drafted, I thought he had good vision. He was more of a quick back rather than a speed back. So, and he showed a little glimpses in the preseason early on. So, you're like, oh, maybe this is the year he turns it around, but he can't put it together. So, I would be surprised if he makes a roster, but who knows at this point, right? But yeah.
Oh, I love it because I just saw I got to see. Wait, T. Brad says, wait, I thought Singletary was as good as Barkley. Did it? I mean, I know.
Did anybody say that?
I know this is sarcasm. I know this is sarcasm,
Yeah.
100%. But there were people that did say that we were not going to miss Saquon Barkley's production because of Devin Singletary.
Well, I mean, he had the production. It's just a different type. So, I mean, I get what the thought process was behind it, but they're not the same runner. I mean, Barkley is very, I hate saying his name right now because he's dead to me. He's on Philly. So, yeah, thanks, T. Brad. Get me to say his name on a Sunday. Man,
on
the
the holy
running
day.
back who, yeah, right. The running back who shall not be named. Yeah, I mean, he's a different type of running back. But when you look at production, I get what they were trying to say, So I understand the point behind it, but they're not the same running back.
Michael says, Tim, we still have one of the worst offenses in football. May be lucky to win 3 games, start the rookie. I mean, listen, all the feel good stuff about Jackson Dart is great because Jackson, I always, I don't make fun of Daniel Jones, but I always say, does Daniel Jones have any friends? Because like I said, you don't go to a concert by yourself and just walk down the middle of the street and then yell at the fans when they're yelling back at you. He's very personable, Jackson Dart. He's going to all the things. He's saying all the right things. You see some of the passes, but then you hear what the giant media says compared to what the regular media says when they're at the OTAs, and everyone shows giant media shows all the wonderful passes. But then the regular media pointed out that his last OTA, he was 5 for 9 with 2 interceptions. Yeah. So it's a little different when you're watching him. You see him, look at that pass, he just zinged it. But in some regards, and I know the Giants are trying to do this because of the fact that they're trying to excite the fan base, but in some regards, are the Giants setting him up for failure? That if he goes out that first preseason game, or if he goes out that first full contact practice and he puts up a stinker, that they hyped him up so much and they didn't say there was never anything bad. Everything was spectacular. You thought he went 10 for 10 for 400 yards and 22.5 touchdowns. But is this kind of, and I understand why the Giants are doing it, but are they setting this kid up for a little bit of a fall if he comes out and plays like a rookie?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I think the Giants fans need to temper their expectations. We know what Dart is. We know what he needs to work on. We know he's going to struggle. I know there's fans that are calling for him to play right away. He's not ready. Like there's a plan, and they should stick to that plan. Now, I will say if you pay close attention enough, even with some Giants media, you could tell that there was days he struggled. It was out there, but fans want to hold on to the good things, right? Because they're excited about this. They're excited about a rookie, which I get. But I'll just say, like, we had one of the worst offenses of football, but we know why we had one of the worst offenses in football. So I think the organization is saying this to you as well with who they brought in. They didn't make a lot of changes to the offense. And I feel that there was one position is why we had as bad of an offense as we had, and I think that'll change this year. Now, will we be top 10? Probably not. But if we're top 15, top 20, we can win a lot of games with a top 20 offense. And I'll take that because you go from 32 to 15 or 20, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I think that would be. I mean, I think that would be spectacular. But like I said, I'm just worried that the expectations sometimes fans get. You get and to what the point I was trying to make is the Giants are only showing everything good. So it's like, I'm waiting for training camp because I love going to training camp. I will sit out there for days and I sit in the back row and I just sit there and watch. And, because you really get a feeling and perspective of what's going on and you can really see, that's why I said the OTAs mean nothing. I mean, for the fans, it should mean nothing. For the players, it means a lot. Because like especially for the new guys such as this. I love this. Shane is Belcher. I always hate that name. 2.0.
Are we gonna get me started? Can I back up a second with the Jackson Dart stuff and OTAs real quick? So the thing that you want to watch for is not what his completions is or how many interceptions he's throwing. You want to look at his footwork. You want to look at the velocity of the ball. You want to see how his throws are going. Like all the other stuff, like, oh, he was 10 for 10. He was 4 or 5. Like I could care less because number one, this is where you try things. You're going to make mistakes. If you throw an interception, it's not a big deal. Pay attention to his footwork. Pay attention to his release. Pay attention to the velocity coming out of his hands. That's what you want to see. Now, with Bowen, listen, we had the 32nd ranked offense and we got fans calling for our defensive coordinator to get fired. Like he's clearly the scapegoat because as Giants fans, we're big on defense. So I get it. He's not Betcher 2.0. Like if you listen to the people, and we had Ryan Dunleavy on and he mentioned that like the people who know Bowen said he was doing things because of the injuries. So he was a patchwork basically. So now, having said that, I'm going to be extremely critical of Bowen this season, but I think what we saw last year after the injuries was not what he is. And again, at one point we were leading the league in sacks. So if you can get after the quarterback with 4 sacks, or 4 guys, why do you need to blitz a lot? People are like, oh, we're not blitzing. Well, you got 36 sacks in however many games. You don't need to do it. But I think you're going to see some things and you probably saw this too. People were flipping out about what he said about, well, like from the outside in, it looks like we have, 3 guys for 2 spots. Well, he wasn't saying he doesn't know how to utilize them. He's saying the fans are seeing this way, but that's not how we see it. We see it as we're going to get these guys on the field.
We talked about that in one of the last videos that he didn't mean that he was like, oh no, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I mean, all 3 guys are going to be on the field at certain points of time. I think that there is going to be some liability doing that when there's certain scenarios and situations, because I think certain defenses are designed to, when you're going with 3 undersized defensive ends, they're going to be on that can all rush the passer. But let's be honest, they're all going to get after him. But the problem is going to be this. You're going to have some pretty smart quarterbacks in this league that are going to see these guys on and probably assume, especially early on, well, that's going to be a blitz. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how he maneuvers them, not just in passing situations, but, in first down and second down as well, because you're going to bring the heat on third, especially if it's third and long. So, I mean, you got to, I mean, I don't think Shane, well, people forget, and we talked about this the day we signed Shane, that if you watched his defense in Tennessee, and I'm a Malik Willis fan, so I watched 3 years of his defense in Tennessee, and his whole defense is, to your point, is to rush 4, to get that rush with 4. That's he blitzes maybe less than 20% of the time. At least he did at Tennessee, but that's how he likes to generate his pass rush. And you take a look at Philadelphia, you take a look at the Super Bowl. Philadelphia's rushing 4. To get to the quarterback, which allows that extra man either in coverage or to play the run. So, I mean, it's a great philosophy if it works.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think at one point he was blitzing at 40% last season, and I think it ended up like over. Yeah. Yeah. He was like 33 or something like that, I think. So again, the injuries, that's what people don't understand is I get it. We didn't make Washington punt. Well, you know what? There was 2 other teams that didn't make Washington punt in a full game either last season, right in a row. So they didn't score a touchdown. So when you look at the injuries and when you look at what happened, I mean, you're not going to, there's certain things you're not going to do when you're, putting things together with a Band-Aid. Right? It just doesn't make sense. And at that point, the season was lost. So I think this is the year we have to judge what he does. And also remember, too, when you have a defense that is a defense coordinator that's new, it takes time for players to adjust to that scheme. So year 2 typically is always the better year under a new DC. So, like I said, I'm going to be very skeptical of him this year or critical of him this year and see what he does. But I think he gets way too much hate for considering we had a ass offense last season.
People forget they wanted to fire Spagnuolo week 3.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it was horrendous, the amount of points we were giving up, but they literally wanted to get rid of him, third week of the season because they thought the 2007 season was going to be a total loss. Not that I'm comparing.
Yeah, no. I get what you're saying.
Well, I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I know you get that, but I get a little worried in other regards. Let's see here. Let's see. Trenton says, watch this before he hit the church. Trenton also says the Raiders and the Bucks are pissed at Shane for doing the pirate thing first.
Oh God.
I'm gonna take off my camera a second because I gotta go grab my other laptop so I can see where our guest is. So I want you to talk about the pirate chess, matey. We've talked about this. But the Joker's gonna take. This is weird. The Joker's gonna take over the online Big Blue. I don't
know if they're ready to hear this now.
I don't even fucking need it. I could just leave. I can come back. I can come back in an hour and a half and see what's going on. But I'm gonna guys listen to the Joker. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, here's my take on the treasure chest. First of all, the treasure chest doesn't matter to me. It's not the concept of what it is. I think it's a great idea. If players buy into it, that's what you want to see. What's about is they're putting the emphasis on getting turnovers. So if you're making a big deal out of, oh, they got a treasure chest, so what? Whatever works for them, if they're excited about it, the players like it, that's what matters. The players wanted this and they're excited about it. Again, look past what the object is, but look at the fact that what the emphasis is. The emphasis is, okay, we're going to get turnovers this year. We're going to make sure we're getting turnovers because what everybody complained about last year, oh, we didn't get turnovers. Bowen's terrible because we didn't get turnovers. Now we're putting emphasis, and yes, it's a treasure chest, but people are complaining about that. Like, guys, come on. Let's just enjoy what he's trying to do. The emphasis is on getting the turnovers. And I don't have a problem with a treasure chest. What other things are you going to come up with? Like, all right, the turnover is a treasure, right? We're going to really get upset over a treasure chest and just look past what the message is behind that treasure chest. You guys can say what you want in the comments, put it up there. I'll react to them too. But yeah, I think it's much ado about nothing. And instead of just looking at what the concept, what the idea behind a treasure chest is. And what's a creative thing we can come up with for the Giants? We get a giant something. We get like what, a giant bowl. We're the Giants. There's not too many things creative we can do for turnovers as the Giants. So that's my take on that. And I did see somebody comment about Russell Wilson. I know I've talked about it before, but I'll just kind of bring it up too. When he looked at what he did at the end of the season, there's not too many people that realize that Tomlin took away his ability and Arthur Smith took away his ability to audible into deep throws. They wanted to run more. So what he did at the end of the season coincides with his ability to not audible and also the injury to Pickens. Let's not think that Pittsburgh had a great offense with great skill players, right? So let's not look too much into that as well. Let's see what he does with these skill players we have here, because regardless of what our ranking was last year, we have some skill players that can do things with Russell Wilson. And the other thing when it comes to Russell Wilson is he throws a very catchable ball. I know Wandale came out and said that this week, but I need more people to understand that and say that matters. If you throw a catchable ball, you got to have less drops. If you throw a better deep ball, guys like Slayton and Hyatt who had some drop issues on deep balls, that's going to help. But with the treasure chest, guys, are we really upset that we have a treasure chest? I mean, really? Like, let's be real for a minute. Put it in the comments. Are we really that upset that we have a treasure chest? All right. Mark says no. Okay. Oh, the man's back. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
No, okay. For some reason I got you coming out of the wrong soundboard now. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, no worse than that. That sounds very wrong, by the way.
I can actually barely hear you. I don't know what I did. I screwed this up last time I did this as well.
Oh man, come on.
It's the technical issues. I just emailed the people over at Believe to see where Mr. Green is.
Yeah.
Can we? Oh, you know, we have to switch the audio. Hold on. Oh, I see what the problem is. All right. Here we go. We have the audio speakers are on wrong here. That's what's going on here. Okay. All right. So you keep talking for a minute.
Okay, I'll keep talking. Listen, I did a lot of talking there. I don't know if it got anywhere, but I did a lot of talking
for a minute. I gotta. The reason my my audio board's not working here, so I gotta reset my audio board.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna just call it the booty chest. That's what we're gonna call it. We're not gonna call it the treasure chest. We're gonna call it the booty chest. So that way we can have some fun with it. Got to snag that booty, right? That's what the thing is. That's better than treasure chest. What do we think, guys? We think booty chest, or we think treasure chest? What do we want here?
Keep talking.
Keep talking. Okay. All right. Keep talking.
I'm still trying to get the soundboard back. And I'm monitoring my emails. This is a professional show, guys.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah. Well, listen.
this is professionalism at its finest. So that's all I'll say right now. There we go. Now I got
that's better. There we go. Well, I'm in the Tampa area, so I got access to all kinds of pirate stuff. So I will get all kinds of eye patches, hats, whatever. I'll get what I need to get to support it.
How long did you live in the Tampa area? Or how long have you lived in the Tampa area?
So like 10 years now. I've been in Florida for about 12. I've been in the Tampa area for about 10.
And why are you not doing anything Buccaneers related?
Because I'm a Giants fan. Why do you do Buccaneers?
Well,
although I will admit, I do have the creamsicle colored Buccaneers hat because I was a big fan of that back in the day.
So back
Williams and those guys.
I would say back in 78, 79, you had to have that ugly uniform. Greg says Tampa Stadium is dope. My parents lived by there. Everyone knows that I worked for Tampa, worked for John Gruden the year after the Super Bowl, which is for 2 years after the Super Bowl. And I admit it freely. We went 7-9 and 6-10. Those 2 seasons I was there, and I've admitted it freely on this show. I take full responsibility for them not going back to back in reference to the Super Bowl. So just want to bring that out there. And everyone knows I'm a John Gruden fan, so I think he should be back in the NFL because if you take a look at those emails, I've said it before, there is nothing in those emails that hasn't been said in an NFL locker room, in an NFL office. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but, that's, I mean, I've told the story a million times. I thought for the first couple of weeks I was working with Tampa that my name was Tim What the Fuck. Because literally that's what John Gruden, anytime he saw me, that's what he would tell me. Tim, what the fuck? What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? And I'd be like, you know what? I'm glad I'm a person that's not easily offended.
Yeah.
But I cried inside. I'm not gonna.
Well, we all cry inside a little bit, and that's okay.
Well,
now, as long as you didn't die inside.
No,
if you died inside, that's different. Crying inside's okay. Dying inside's a little different.
Listen, there is a when back in the early 2000s when because Tampa played at their training camp was at the Wide World Sports Complex in Disney.
Yep.
And it was great though, because you had the stands and then you had these tents off to the sides, and the tents were the players' wives and the other tents were the VIPs. And I actually was responsible for taking care of Mike Allstott's wife one day because she was pregnant. So my job, I had great jobs at Tampa. My job was to stand there and make sure that she didn't have a baby or, if she needed water or anything else. And I loved it though, because I was joking with her because back then you ran 2-a-days. Yeah. And she was in the morning practice and she came to the afternoon practice. And I asked her once, I said, you're expecting, why are you here? She goes, John Gruden expects us to be here. I was thinking he means number 40. I wasn't thinking he was meaning you. Let's see, Jay. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying, well, there's funny thing. Not now, but back in the day, I had the Allstott goatee, and after they won the Super Bowl, there was a picture that came out in the paper, and I was a little bit of a spitting image of Mike Allstott back in the day, like really back in the day.
People forget that he was, and talking about running backs, I mean, his running style, he had to share the backfield with Warwick Dunn. Yep. He had that, you're not a complete Tampa fan, but when you worked in Tampa, you became, you knew James Wilder, you knew all the big names.
Oh yeah. All those guys. Yeah. Yeah.
You had to learn all those names back in Tampa, but they both had similar running styles. And for a fullback, I mean, this guy's versatility, even back in the early 2000s was something to behold. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Fullback position.
Yeah.
A lost art. I mean, the Giants, if you go back, you think the biggest one fullback I can not remember, but you always go back to Maurice Carthon,
Yep.
leading the way for Joe Morris. You got Charles Way,
Yep.
Henry Harnoski.
Yep.
I mean, you having the way the offenses have changed over the last few years. The fullback is being phased out more and more. Now, we know the NFL is a copycat league.
Yeah.
So people see the success with Saquon Barkley. They see the success with like Marshawn Lynch and and the kid over in Atlanta and everything else. And you think maybe they may start shifting back to the utilizing the fullback more. In your opinion, why do you think the fullback has been phased out the last couple of years? And do you see any resurgence now when people are seeing, you can still win by running the rock?
Yeah, so I think it was fade out. They just wanted more. They wanted more fast people and more receivers on the field. So there was a skill set. It became a really passing league. So they're like, all right, we're going to get as many fast guys as we can to give ourselves an advantage over the defense. There are like 5 or 6 teams I think that still have a fullback right now. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
I'm
I
actually
wouldn't be
my
surprised.
email now.
Yeah,
You see,
I wouldn't be surprised if it came back because I mean and you know this. You've been around long enough to know the gray hairs give it away, right? Like.
You saying I'm fucking old?
Listen, I'm old too, dude. So we're both old. I accept it. I embrace it.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot.
That's a better. Thank you. That's a better way to put it. I was about to say, "Fuck you, tell me I'm old." What's wrong with you? Whose fucking show is this?
Right?
In my house. If I want to be old,
it is. It is. It is. It is. I don't need to get in timeout again. So
no, I'm being good today. I gotta keep my laptop. Keep talking. I put my laptop on.
Well, the other thing is, I don't know if too many people caught this, but they actually lined up Elijah Chapman as a fullback during OTAs. So and he did it in college.
See that.
Yeah, yep, he did, and he did a little bit at SMU as well. So maybe listen, Daboll doesn't use a fullback, and we saw that last year with the up and down of the fullback. I know Barcelo likes having the fullback to help out, so maybe we see a little more Chapman in certain situations as the fullback there. But I think more teams are gonna run because what happens is, and this happens, it's cyclical within the NFL. So defenses went lighter and faster. Now, offense is going to counter by going run heavy, stronger guys, bigger guys, and then it'll go back around again. So you just see it. You're around long enough. If you watch enough of the NFL, you see how things change. So there's my take on the running game.
First you call me old, then you start using big words.
I thought we had educated fans on this show. I was talking to the fans, Tim. I was talking to the fans.
I'm sitting there. Sorry, wrong number. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, and I keep thinking of 40-year-old virgin now when he's sitting there going, "You're using a lot of big words, so I'm going to take it as disrespect."
Right.
Okay. I was gonna throw that out there right now.
Kevin Hart. Yeah, there you go.
Ryan says, when we were 3-13, the giveaway will be a small amount of gold instead of a medium Pepsi. I would like that.
I would too.
Gold is $3,238 an ounce right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they want us to give me a small amount of gold, because the medium Pepsi was full of shit. I mean, as a season ticket holder.
Yeah, you gotta have been.
In the fact though that you got, it was for what you were as a season ticket holder, you're given an account number. So that account number could have 1 seat on it, could have 10 seats on it.
Yeah.
They gave 1 medium Pepsi per account number.
That's crazy.
So if you had 5 people, they didn't even give you 5 straws.
Wow.
And then they gave the nice thing last year, the 100th anniversary edition pack thing, which is nice, and which I laughed at because I got tons of rings. I mean, I got rings at the wazoo. Which when they did that, I was like, oh, that's great. I actually they gave I guess it's like in Lucite, they gave a ticket, one of the first tickets, so which is a reproduction of it, which was nice. This year they haven't done anything yet, which I'm a little surprised they haven't. And this is what I think is kind of interesting right now about the Giants, and I'm not sure where this is going. They always have the town hall.
Yes.
And they haven't had the town hall yet this year.
Okay.
They always do like the rookie symposium and other things like that. I'm getting nothing out of the season ticket office. And I keep thinking to myself, did they spend all their money on last year's packages?
Probably. Or they're like, look, we're gonna do Hard Knocks again for the whole NFC East, so we're gonna cool out on any like appearances because that's gonna be interesting being on Hard Knocks with the whole NFC East. So
Well, I think that's going to be a joy. Blackbird says, when are you getting your Russell Wilson jersey? I haven't bought a Giants jersey in 3 years, and I'm going to buy one this year. And I don't know I don't know who it's going to be. I have no clue. Are you going to buy a Giants jersey this year?
no, I mean I have the blue, I have the century red, but I get my old college football number, and that way I don't have to worry about players not being in anymore. The last Giants jersey I had was Odell Beckham, and then before that I had Shockey.
So you had 13 and 80. I mean, you had a nice little run between the two numbers, or did you get Shockey after he left for the Saints?
No, I had him when he was on the Giants.
Okay, I'm just double checking.
Yeah.
Michael says, Tim, we have one of the worst offenses in football. Maybe lucky to win 3 games. Let's start working. We already got to that one. Let's see here. I got to the Goonies one. There's too many people in the chat. Stop leaving so many chats. I like Ryan's Big Blue broadcast says, bring back Gary Brightwell. Gary Brightwell actually signed with somebody. I forgot who it was.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. Once they leave the Giants, unless they were a difference maker here, I don't really pay attention. Like once they're gone, they're gone. Like I focus on who's on the Giants. It's not like the old days, like when Carl Banks. see what I did there? Would
I
they even go play for someone else? Yeah.
I like
Slick,
that.
right?
I like that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. How could you even like Carl Banks? That's right. He played for Cleveland and Washington.
Well, see, Cleveland didn't bother me. Cleveland wasn't a rivalry. Now, when he went to Washington, he was invisible to me. Same way Mark Bavaro was invisible to me when he played for the Eagles.
But then he he went to the Browns first. I know.
Yeah, you said that. No, he didn't. Yeah, that was Banks. Banks went Browns and then Washington.
That's
same thing. Jesse Armstead. Armstead went to the Redskins, and I was like, yeah, okay, you're invisible to me. So that's just the way it works. You go to the enemy, you're invisible.
You're never good. Yeah, I don't care.
Luckily, I can't remember now. Maybe you would know because I know you know a lot of trivia and stuff like that. But
it's mold, right?
I can't think of a significant Giants player who went to the Cowboys.
A significant Giant player that went to the Cowboys, like someone that made
an impact with the Giants, right? Like it wasn't like a Carl Banks went to the Cowboys. It wasn't like a Leonard Marshall went to the Cowboys, right? Like or even after those times, I can't remember a very significant, impactful Giant player that played for the Cowboys.
The only one that I can, of course, think of, but they didn't go to the Cowboys. They were selected by the Cowboys. Was Randy White, of course, with that stupid Craig Morton trade.
Oh, yeah.
Gave up the second overall pick. I mean, but I can't think of a significant player that was with the Giants that then turned around and went to the Cowboys. I mean, and made any type of immediate impact. I can't.
I mean, the only thing that's a non-player was Parcells, and Parcells became invisible to me too. Like as much as I love Parcells, you go to the Cowboys, like nah.
Well, and also, Parcells is a Tony Romo snap away from actually winning a playoff game with the Cowboys. I mean,
he is. It's so bad to see that Tony Romo couldn't handle a snap. It's so unfortunate. I feel so bad for him.
I love this. Trenton says the Scata push is now trademarked by Online Big Blue.
That phrase, that phrase, trademark, not to use that position, Ricky Bobby.
Oh, there we go. We have now trademarked the Scata push. Greg says, Motor, I hate the effing nickname. Does nicknames bother you at all?
Not at all. Nicknames are fun. You got to have a good nickname. Absolutely.
But what's Scata? But no, we're not doing Scata push. But what's Scataboo's nickname going to be?
Oh,
and I want something for Jackson Dart to be creative. I don't want him to be like, we're going to call him Jackson Bullseye Dart. I want something, something creative.
I'll have to think about that a little bit more. I might be able to come up with something. We'll see.
Let's see. Your trend says
I can't give 2 trademarks in the same show because I mean it was and Trent didn't even, he just said and friends. He didn't even say, listen.
I didn't even read the and friends part.
Yeah, I know. You left it out. You're like, oh, it's Big Blue. Yeah.
I'm glad someone actually caught that because I kind of just left that out.
Yeah.
Because like I told you last night, I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
So I don't see that part.
I mean, I'm here on a Sunday, so what does that tell you about my friends?
You're even worse than I am. Trenton says Fireside Giants were all aboard the hype train, the Singletary hype train last season. There was a lot of hype, there was a lot of hype with Singletary. And I know, to your point, there were some people that were saying, like we talked about Brileyfield, that the production was, he could replace the production with Saquon Barkley, which I just never could really figure out because of the fact that, like I said, this is a guy that never rushed for over more than 900 yards. And when the rubber met the road with injuries with the Texan team with a rookie quarterback that was going to the playoffs, they didn't rely on the running game. When they lost all their wide receivers, they still had CJ Stroud out there slinging the rock. So I'm not saying that's anything against him. I'm just saying he was never going to be the bell cow featured back. T-Brad says, "You're welcome. Say his name. Giants did him wrong." I don't remember who we're talking about because that was 10
That was when the former running back who shall not be named, he got me to say his name.
Oh, that's fine. I appreciate it again for
Giants
you.
didn't, I don't know. Can we comment on that? Because the Giants didn't do him wrong, by the way. Giants did not do him wrong. They offered him twice, 2 contracts. He turned them down because he was greedy, he wanted more money, or he got bad advice. Let me say it that way from his agent. Consequently, he fired his agents right after that.
Yeah, the in-season contract. Yeah, he got bad advice, which would have been equal to what he would have gotten in Philadelphia. Now, the contract afterwards was a 1-year deal, basically a 1.5 year deal guaranteed for those 3 years, which would have equaled almost the same amount if they just tagged them a second time. So I understand why he kind of balked, but he got bad advice. The first contract in season, he got during the bye week,
he fired his agent for that.
He got bad advice, but during the season with Daniel Jones and everything, then there were.
Well, here's what I'll say. If you watch the show, and I go, and we talked about this before too. Shane was trying to close with the agent on the phone. He said a couple times, "Well, that will get the deal done. Hey, we'll get it signed. We'll fly you out here and get it done." So he was. So I think it was respectable. I think at the time, the running back was like, "No, I'm good. I'm done. Like, I'm going to go somewhere else." He wanted to go play somewhere else, regardless of what he said. He wanted to be a Giants for life. He was out of here. He was done. Can you blame him?
He was moving on. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, you go to, I mean, you had one winning season, and the 5 years you were here, the 5+ years you were here, you had one winning season, you had one playoff win. You get it. That's what I was kind of curious though about Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton's been a Giant forever. Darius Slayton is this guy that's only really tasted success once. He had the opportunity to leave as a free agent to go anywhere and get that, maybe, start going towards that Super Bowl ring. And he took, he came back with the Giants with 3 years, $36 million. Do you think the market was just soft for Darius Slayton? Because you didn't really hear a lot of teams saying, "Hey, we're going to give Darius, or we want to bring Darius in for X."
Yeah, no. So I'm going to say this. I'm gonna pat myself on the back real quick. I accurately predicted that the market would not be high for Darius Slayton, and it wasn't. And he came back, and I do think they gave him an idea of what was going to happen in the quarterback room, why he came back. And listen, if I'm Darius Slayton, I'm going to be excited about Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson throws a really good deep ball. Right? What's my strength? The deep ball, getting down the field. So I'm fine. But I think what they signed him for, I don't think he had a huge market. I think I'm not hating on Darius Slayton, but he was the best of, we didn't have anything, right? So, and he outperformed his draft rank, no doubt about it, right? So I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he has a great year, but he's a wide receiver 3, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But maybe he'll do something bigger this year. And I hope he does. Like I said, I hope he proves me wrong because that's good for the Giants. But no, I don't think he had a market out there like people think. So
I'm just reading a text message and someone says to me, no, I'm not going to. They said, if Ahman Green does not show up by 11 o'clock, how much are you going to go off on him, Tim? There's anyone that's watched this show, there's a possibility there could be a rant. And the last time there was a rant, I think there was a forest fire like 200 miles away, because it gets pretty intense. But I'm on the Believe Network.
Yeah,
where things happen. I emailed the marketing people, I believe, and say, you know what?
Yep.
He's not here by 11 o'clock. He's dead to me, but that's okay. It's okay.
Kinda like our former running back who's dead to me because he plays on the Sheagles.
We're just gonna say what you call it. I'm just glad the Joker is here.
Well,
Are you
appreciate
still just to pitch New York Giants? Rush, of course.
Yeah.
Are I know that there is potentially, and I know you can't say whom because you guys are still
Yeah, yeah.
verified. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
there's potentially a big guest coming on your show Monday.
There is potentially we're triple checking today with that person, but it's gonna be big. It's a big time guest for sure. I think fans will be excited about it. But yes, we can't say yet. But yeah, tomorrow, 7:30 live. We're triple checking. We're, going dotting our I's, crossing our T's, and making sure, and that announcement will come out once it is confirmed for the third time.
So it is going to be Saquon Barkley.
Exactly who it is. Absolutely. We got connections. We're connected to that person.
I was gonna say I knew it. It's Saquon Barkley. It's gonna be. So when is this gonna be? When is this gonna be official?
Well, we're supposed to be hearing back today. I believe we reached out again today to triple check. We got 2 confirmations, but we want to get that third one because we don't want to let fans down. We don't want to put something out there and say somebody's going to be on. Not anything to do with what's going on right now. That was not my intent. That was not my intent.
I say dick. Oh, but that's all right. I don't know where that came from. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not happy with him right now. I'm actually not too happy. I wasn't happy with him from other reasons, but I'm not happy with him right now.
I was going to tell him too when he's on it. I used to root against him because I'm not a Nebraska fan. So
I had a lot of questions. Do you want to just pretend you're Ahman Green?
Sure. I mean, I got the gray in the beard like he has, right? Like, doesn't he have that going?
I got a lot of questions. My first question to Ahman Green would be, where the fuck are you? Why are you being a dick?
Well,
I saw your show.
My representatives fed me a pile of crap, and they lied to me, and then I realized what I was coming on to, and I was like, "Yeah, no, hell no."
That's what I would have said when they told me they were going to have him come on. I said the same thing. I said, it's like, you're all right.
They were going to have this Joker guy, and I'm like, I can't be on with some guy named Joker. Like, what is that?
I do think they ended up watching the show. That's what I always think. That's always my concern when people even like Carl Banks saying he wants to come on. I've made fun of Carl Banks. I don't know how many times. I mean, ad nauseum. So, I don't know what you mean, man. You're always nice to me. Baby Carl Banks Jr. always comes on the show. I don't know how many times he comes on, but he's seen the show.
Yeah.
So that's why I always get concerned that other people don't see it, and then he finally say, you know what, let me go over to all these other places and see where what this show is all about, and then they listen and like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Well, listen, I saw the show and I saw how you were online, and I came on the show and I got a completely different impression of the show after coming on. So clearly, because I'm back again. So
that's the thing. People hate me with a passion.
Well,
and I don't mind.
There you go.
Because you know what? Like I've told you before, I don't want any friends. I don't need any more friends. One of my friends has to die before I can bring someone else in because they're.
Is that how it works?
That's how it works.
Okay.
And I love it when people meet me at the stadium and they're like, well, you're a really nice guy. I'm like, yeah, I never said I'm still a dick, but I never said I wasn't a nice guy.
I mean, listen, I got a-hole tendencies. I fully admit that. So it's you either love me or you hate me. There's no in between with me. It's just the way it goes.
There's no in between. I love Strider says, I forgot to bring my eye patch. My bad. Pirates, after all, are matey. Mark Hernandez, what's up? I don't see a problem with it. The treasure chest.
There you go. See, it's now being called the booty chest. So trademark New York Giants Rush, Joker Rush. There we go.
Trademark not to use outside permission, Ricky Bobby.
There we go. I don't mind. Like I said, I do mind the pirate chest. I mean,
you got a problem with the treasure chest?
I got a problem with the treasure chest. I got a big problem.
Why? Why? What's your problem with the treasure chest? Did you hear my rant?
No, I was doing a fucking email.
So you missed my rant, but go ahead. Tell me why you have a problem with the treasure chest. I'll give you my rant.
My problem with the treasure chest is this: you are professionals, And first of all, my biggest issue is when I was like 7 or 8 and you went to the dentist, there was a treasure chest after you came out of the dentist. That's what a treasure chest should be for. You should not have grown men throwing a ball into the treasure chest. I've said this before. Do you think the likes of Bill Parcells would have a treasure chest? Do you think Andy Reid would have a treasure chest? Do you think the likes of, Bill Belichick would have a treasure chest, to motivate their players? You know what Parcells would tell you is motivation? Or you know what John Gruden would tell you is motivation? If you need a fucking treasure chest, you need to go play someplace else.
Yeah.
Because it's a nice, quirky thing. But when you start off with, well, my son just started with T-ball and they have a treasure chest. You want to know why? Because they're in T-ball. He's probably 8 years old.
I know.
These are grown. These, to James's point, these are millionaires. These are guys making millions of dollars a year. Even the rookies, and even when you're a rookie, you're still 20-something years old. I could never imagine a treasure chest in college. You never had one in high school. I don't even
know, but we're
you got
different
party and Pop Warner, but that was about it.
Yeah, we're a different generation. These guys like these things now. You have the turnover chain. You got all these things. And I'll say this: if the players didn't buy into it, they wouldn't be doing it. Like, it's not going to be like, hey, we're going to do this because I'm the coach. No, the players bought into it. And I said this while you were gone trying to figure out your email was, it's not the treasure chest itself. It's the concept behind it. They're putting an emphasis on getting more turnovers because what did the Giants struggle with last year? They struggled with getting turnovers. So what are they putting emphasis on? Getting the turnovers. So who cares? I mean, again, there's other things I can be more mad about than a treasure chest. I mean, really, like losing games, I'm going to be mad about. A treasure chest, I could care less. If it gets some turnovers and they win the game, put that thing right in the booty. I could care less. Put the ball in the booty. There you go. Ball in the booty.
Ball in the booty. The scat. It's
ball in the booty.
Push. Here's the thing: we don't have cheerleaders. We don't have a mascot.
Nope.
We don't have a band.
Do you remember the old mascot we had though?
The
giant with the red hair, almost looked like the 49er guy.
Oh, that was a long time ago. That was
that's what I mean. A long time ago.
Yeah. But that wasn't like well known. That's not like the Philly Fanatic or something else. We don't.
Right.
We have the bell. When you ring. We ring the bell before every every game, which I have no problem with the bell. I mean, it's just we are where this franchise, or we are this franchise in my regards, that one of the original franchises. We have this pride about being a Giant. And I like I said, my thing is this: I would never see any of the greatest coaches in the NFL history or any greatest coaches in Giant history saying, you know what, just for motivation, if you want more turnovers, you know what you do? You know what John Gruden would do? He would yell at your fucking ass for 12 hours. Get the ball. Because back then Mike Tomlin was the defensive back coach. They would preach, going after the ball and getting the ball, not, hey, let's put it. And they're a pirate. They got a boat in the end zone. What do we got in the end zone? We don't even have you go to Jacksonville. They got the Bud Light zone. We don't even have the Bud Light zone.
Yeah, we don't have anything. Again, it's the Giants. Like there's not much you can do with a mascot called the Giants. You're kind of limited. You're pretty limited.
You could have a giant.
Yeah, you can have a giant. Yeah, that's it. You can have like a yeah. I don't know. I tried to say it too during the rant. I'm like, what are we gonna have? Like a giant bowl that we put the ball in after a turnover? Like, what are you gonna do with the Giants? Like nothing.
I'm gonna
have a big giant on the sideline that you're here's the ball. We got a turnover.
With big giant with the Jolly Green Giant.
Right? A big beanstalk. We have a beanstalk on the sideline.
You can tie that in to Jolly Green Giant produce. So now you have a built-in sponsor. See, they're not thinking.
But we're big blue, not big green.
I don't fucking know. I don't care. I don't fucking care. I put the link in the chat. T. Brad James, if you're out there and you want to pretend you're on green, that's fine by me. Because I got questions. Let's see. T. Brad says, I like this guy, Tim. No, did he? Even though I disagree with some of his positions, he does a great job of representing his point of view.
Appreciate that. Thank you, T. Brad.
T. Brad, nobody likes to kiss ass.
Unless you're the teacher.
This is the ass you kiss. This guy over here, this one over here.
Okay. Point the other way. Point the other way.
No, this way.
Yeah. Because if we're looking at the screen,
I was going to say, we're looking at the screen. I'm going this way. I got that on the monitor. Here we're going that way. Yeah, I don't fucking know. I don't know. Tired of him already. Oh, I can't wait till I come on your show. I got a what you call it? I got I got an invite, so I can't wait to come on.
You got an invite from Craig? Gave you an invite?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
Yeah, because not this week because you guys are having. And I knew I was gonna, I was gonna be a dick and send it back. And I said, well, I guarantee I get an invite for this Monday show if some guest cancels. We finally got him. Here he is, the one. He finally showed up, only an hour late. The one, the only. Ahman Green, also known as T-Brad.
What up, people?
T-Brad in the morning.
A little breakfast beer right now.
You're not on vacation?
No, I just came back from Maine though.
Yeah, so I thought you were having some sun and some fun out there.
Well, it wasn't sun, but it definitely was fun. There's work too, but definitely fun. Maine's a good time. If anybody likes, peace of mind and just chilling out, Maine's a good time. Good people up there.
You got the Joker here, T-Brad, over from
brother.
No, over from New York Giants. Rush, you weren't here the last time that he was on.
No.
So T-Brad is along with James and the Iceman and everyone else that we bring on board. He is a friend. Yes, he is a friend. So he is one of those few that if somebody dies, or he dies, you can replace T-Brad. So I'm not saying I want T-Brad to die. I'm just saying if it happens, no one go out and try to kill T-Brad because everyone wants to be my friend. But he is like one of the original 11 morons that started watching this show. But he's got great football insight. He knows his stuff about the New York Giants. We always love having it on because while we may not always agree with opinions, it's always it's always good to have a difference of opinion compared to.
Of course.
Let's talk about them shits.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't really have anything, man. I just think. I think no. Seriously, I think.
Have a guest.
I think brother was basically doing a good job of explaining things. I thought the treasure chest was just too gimmicky for me. But I guess if you give him something to be motivated about, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. So
it's not you. Like I said, don't look at what it is, look at what it represents. And that's the bigger picture. Like I look at big picture. Like I get people think it's gimmicky or whatever else, but if you look at it at face value, then yes, you're going to see it that way. But if you look at it big picture, what it represents, that's what's the important. That was my takeaway from it. Not that, we got a treasure chest. That's stupid. It's no, okay. We're focusing on getting turnovers this year. That's going to be our priority. And players are buying in. We got a young team, right? Let's not forget that. Like we do have a young team. There's some vets. So if these young guys are buying in and you get them, bonding and they're cohesive with each other, that's what we needed. So again, look at what it represents, not what it is. That's my take. But we're going to call it the booty chest because it sounds better.
I get that, but let me give you why I'm on the gimmick side because you did a good job of representing that. But I'm going to tell you what it's like on a gimmick side.
Okay.
If I'm Shane Bowen,
hold that thought for 1 second. We're going to drop another person in, but I didn't know he was going to come on. It's the one
angry black man.
No. This we find 1 hour and 2 minutes. I'm gonna not say anything disparaging against this man because of the fact that he is a former NFL great. The one, the only, Ahman Green.
What's going on?
Or a OGR Sport. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one it is.
Hey, I was gonna.
We all don't like OGR, but you didn't have to leave.
I was actually gonna thank Ahman Green because he won me my fantasy championship in 2004. So.
Well, you could see that, and you see that empty space right there next to us is where Ahman Green would have been.
He bolted. Bolted. He's like,
I know he had his idea about the booty chest. I got this great.
Yeah.
I love this one I just saw. Winston doing the finger licking the treasure booty. And I'm not sure who's
because James had said something about Winston doing something. I'm like, yeah, can you imagine that? Winston with his whatever he does with there we go.
Eating the W's. Oh my God.
Eating the W. We got to get the Strider real quick to the Iceman. Iceman is in a bad situation right now. My sister's dog Bailey is not in good health, and she will have no choice but put Bailey to sleep. 18 years, and she's had that dog. Well, we're sorry about that, Slider. We one more for Slider. Slider, call the ball. Oh, there we go. That's for Bailey. But T-Brad, are you still there? No, he's no audio there. OGR, you still there?
Of course.
Oh, okay. So what were you gonna tell Ahman Green?
I was gonna ask him, a question or two. I was gonna ask him, what would be the transition, like imagine you transitioning from running back to wide receiver and how that transition would go for you, and
I would be awesome.
Oh, it would be awesome, but like seeing
I would just be awesome in general because I could do it.
No, but I'm saying like not every wide receiver is capable of becoming a running back. Put it that way. And I gotta give props for people that can. So I was gonna ask him more or less that with Tyrone Tracy's transition and how difficult he thinks that would be. That was gonna be my question to him.
Well, also keep in mind Wandale was a running back too. He went running back to wide receiver. So we have two guys in the Giants that switched positions.
Oh, should we get in more trouble because we just got an email?
Ooh,
should we read the email on air? Because I've always wondered how soon I'd get fired from Belief. Let's see here. Mr. Green is a no. I wrote that. Let's see here. No, wrong email. All right. I was gonna read it on the air.
Oh boy.
Come on. The question was, the moment people found I was going to be on the Believe Network, how long was it going to last? I got some.
I had 3 months. I'm still within that time frame, I believe.
You said 3 months. I gave myself 2.5 weeks. I lost the pool. Some people said preseason. Some people said first week of the season. So we're gonna have to wait and see. T-Brad is back. T-Brad, do you want to finish your comment on the booty chest?
Oh yeah, why I am on this is a gimmick thing. Well, if you take who he is, if there's somebody who's set up to be the scapegoat, it's definitely him. So I got to start pitching my sale as to why I'm doing a good job or whatever. So he's got to it's like running for an election. Yeah, it's like running for an election. So he's trying to get something out there to get people charged up to say, please don't fire me because this thing may come crumbling down. I'm a very pessimistic Giants fan. The last 7 years have made me that way. So I don't get hype until I see results.
That's fair.
So
I would also say, why are we trying to? I said this a couple minutes ago. Why are we trying to scapegoat Shane Bowen as fans when our offense was the 32nd ranked offense? Like I just not directed at you, but in general, like why are we trying to make this guy out to be the guy that we need to fire? Like he was not the issue last year. Our quarterback was.
But I think they see the politics. Like he was the last guy in. The other two are more of a clique. So it seems like based on relationships, he'll probably be the guy out, even though he might not need to be the guy out.
Make sure you guys hit the like button. But the thing also with Shane Bowen is there were times in certain key situations and when you win 3 games, there's not a lot of big games, but there were times in key situations, especially with the defense just couldn't get off the field. Yeah, everyone wants to blame the offense, the ineptitude of the offense, and how the defense had the liability of carrying the offense at times because of the fact that they had the 3 and outs because of the quarterback. But there were plenty of series for the New York Giants defense that they couldn't get off the field on 3rd down.
Well, when you're on the field the majority of the game, it's hard to get off late in the game on 3rd down when your offense goes 3 and out all the time. So they're going to be more well rested now. They got more depth now, which is good. Their starters are now going to be backup, so that makes them better from that regard. So yeah, the offense was a huge thing. I get it. Like again, when you look at the injuries, you're not going to make many adjustments when you got your 4 stringers starting in the secondary or starting wherever else. You're limited what you're going to do. You don't want to get embarrassed, right? The fans were calling for things. You want to keep it as close as you can, and for the most part, minus the Bucks game and maybe one other, they didn't get blown out. That defense was in a lot of games. They lost 8 one-score games. So let's not. And at one point, they were ranked 8th or 7th in passing defense. And the run defense, by the way, as bad as people complain about the run, was still higher ranked than it was the year before. So let's just keep that in mind.
So they were ranked 29th is better than 30th?
Is it not better? I don't care if you're one spot better, you're still better.
No, I don't.
But that speaks to the personnel, not the coach. If you're still bad with a second coach, that's the personnel. They didn't have the right guys in there. And I've said this a number of times, Leonard Williams was a big reason, in my opinion, why that run defense suffered. He brought a lot there that fans didn't appreciate. Now they have guys that you had Alexander, you had Golston.
Sorry. You hear that?
I stopped so I could hear it. I couldn't hear what it was.
King almost sacked.
That's Leonard Williams, king of the almost sack, because that's from his first thing. So you're saying they weren't embarrassed like when you have to promote something for a week and then the guest doesn't show up?
Yeah, kind of like that.
I'm just double checking on that. Mark Hernandez says Giants just need a quarterback. We have and better than what Daniel Jones was. DJ was one of the main reasons we were shitty so long behind. Besides the offensive line play, the offensive line, of course, improved last year. I'm not going to say leaps and bounds, but they improved, and this year they're going to have a. Russell Wilson is not the Russell Wilson from 10 years ago. So he's not statuesque, but he's not going to have that escapability. Jameis Winston is more of a pocket passer. We know what Jackson Dart might be. But, guys, do we think that this O-line with this quarterback situation now, what are they going to have to do, especially with Russell Wilson, just to make sure that this guy stays upright?
Play better.
I mean, you're going to have a quarterback that can read defenses better. He can audible better. He can set up protections better. Like, he can get rid of the ball sooner. Like, he understands things. I'm not worried about the O-line like that. You have second year now. The same guys are coming back. You have continuity. You have a second year under Carm Brasillo. It was leaps and bounds better than what it was the previous year. Now, whatever their rankings were, I don't know. But, I think this quarterback's going to improve the O-line as well.
Tim,
I believe that.
I do have concerns at the interior.
I think good with JMS and potentially Evan on one side.
Illuminor can stay healthy. I'm okay with the edges, but the interior, I just don't see it. John Michael Smith is an undersized center who hasn't really improved since his rookie season. If anything, he's regressed. And you have Mr. Cross's feet all the time. I can't think of his name right now.
John Runyon Jr.
Yeah. So
former Green Bay Packer.
I have concerns. I would like to establish the run game, but if your interior can't block, it's going to be pretty difficult. As well.
I think if we don't run the ball, like you said, if we don't run the ball, I don't know if we've added enough that we can be that team that's just going to come out and throw the ball. Even though Russell Wilson's good, but we know he's at the end of his career, towards the end of his career. So, but don't get me wrong, Neighbors he's a dog, but we didn't really put anything new out there in the passing game, and that's my one paranoia concern. So we'll have to see if it comes out that way. But if we can run the ball, I can see some good things happening.
I agree with you there, T-Brad, but I also, I don't mind, targeting Neighbors as much as we did, but I'd like to spread the ball around a little bit more, and hopefully Russell will do that. Because, the amount of throws that came Neighbors' way is almost ridiculous. I understand he's your number one target, and I understand getting him, 15, 16 catches if you'd like to, but over 20, targeted over 20 times in a game. At that point, you're just telling the defense what you're doing.
Well, it'll come down, but again, Jamar Chase is going to get targeted a lot. Justin Jefferson is going to get targeted a lot. Your guys that are your alphas get targeted a lot. So does it need to come down a little bit? Yes.
Those two teams, though, have a second option, have a viable second option. The two gentlemen that you mentioned,
well, I think we do too.
Well, who's our? Who's our?
You're gonna see what better quarterback play who our second option is. I've already said it.
I already know you're going Darius Slayton. I already know.
No, I'm not going Darius Slayton.
He's Robinson.
He's going to be our number 2. They're already lining him up on the outside.
When you say something stupid, you got to go away.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Lose. Good day, sir.
When you got a 5'7" Smurf who gets no yak and catches the ball 3 yards off the line of scrimmage and he cannot figure out how to be a Darren Sproles type player, he's gonna have the okay. All right.
Where's my man James? My man James, I issued him a challenge to go back and watch that Colts game, and he did, and he has a different take on what he saw what I was saying last week about Wandale. So there you go. I'm sticking to my guns.
First of all, James,
stand on it. James, I swore he was gonna go Jalen Hyatt. I think Jalen Hyatt will get open. I thought you were going with that one, but okay.
I thought the easy one was Darius Slayton there because you paid him to be a number 2 wide receiver. It's what you paid him to do. That's why you brought him back.
You paid him Saquon Barkley money,
and he's also, not on top of that, he's been the most consistent Giant receiver over the last how many years, even with bad quarterback play.
Because they had nobody else. It's
Yeah, yeah.
when you
That's
don't
how
have
I feel
another
about
wide receiver, like that's no offense. That's the take that gets out there the most is like, well, he's been consistent. Well, yeah, they haven't had anybody else. Name another receiver that was with him that could like, and yes, with back quarterback play, but he got targeted a lot because he was Jones's favorite target. So
I could also come back with this. If he had a better wide receiver, do you think he could put up better quarterback? Do you think he could put up better numbers? I would argue yes.
I think he can, but I think you're seeing why his production is going to drop because now you have a Malik Neighbors. Like Slayton is a good number 3, like, and I think that's good. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
The problem with Slayton is he's not a great route runner. Now Wandale is a very good route runner. You can say what you want about his height and everything else. He's a very good route runner. And when you don't have a quarterback that can lead him or throw the ball in the right position, it's hard to get yak when you have a quarterback who's ass. Let's just be realistic, right?
At Kentucky, where was the yak? I constantly watch the guy get caught from behind. Yes, he's a Tiki Barber type guy who can get up to speed, get there quick, but then boom, tackle from behind all the time. Even in the NFL, always tackle from behind. Yes, he's got a quick first step. Yes, he can get open. He can break on those routes. But ask him to go, break it to full yards. I mean, I know everybody keeps coming back to the Indianapolis game, but there's a reason why he is what he is, and he had like 80 catches for 500 yards because that's who he is.
And 14 missed tackles in that
I'll
game.
disagree. That's who Daniel Jones made him out to be. Now, again, they're lining him up on the outside. The guy runs a 4.46 40. So you got speed. So whether he put up what was it, 1,200 yards at Kentucky in the SEC against those defenses. So again, I get he's 5'9". Would you guys say that Cole Beasley had a very successful NFL career?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's Cole Beasley. He's Cole Beasley in Daboll's offense.
And
so put him with a quarterback who could do things. Would you take a Cole Beasley? Would you consider Cole Beasley number 2?
I got to stop you guys because it's finally. All right, hold on, guys. It's finally happening. It's finally here. Here we go. About freaking time. I got a lot to say to this guy. Former NFL legend, the one, the only, Ahman Green.
Go blue.
There's my guy. I was just talking about it. Talk about him and he shows up.
That's James. That's James.
What's up, fellas?
What up, brother?
What up, fellas?
What's up?
We got all we're missing is Slider.
Slider's in there somewhere.
Yeah, I know, but his sister's
he's dealing with it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Slider requesting flyby.
Slider pattern is full.
No. But James, let's talk about Wandale Robinson because evidently you changed your. Oh, I love it. Aspie said, "Hey, no, it's Carl Banks." Evidently, Joker said, he's a liar. That you changed your opinion on Wandale Robinson.
Well, I never hated Papa Smurf, so I gave him the name Papa Smurf. He runs Smurf Village, but I am more open to the idea of maybe he can get some more yak if we actually have a real quarterback. I'll say that, again, I don't think he's a horrible player. I never did. I just thought he was very small and didn't really stretch the field. But having Neighbors and a Slayton, a guy like him, if you have a real quarterback, hopefully he can chew up the middle of the field and get some more yak. And, Joker, I did go back and watch some of the Colts game, which I hated that game. But watching him, I was like, oh, okay, maybe he can actually be the Papa Smurf we hope he could be. Because if he can do that, I think him, Slayton stepping up with Neighbors, it's like, okay, God forbid we find a tight end, we might actually have a real offense out here.
No, we're not allowed to find a tight end.
They was going to surprise some people this year. He was coming along until that injury. He's going to surprise some people this year because he wasn't used at Penn State as a pass catcher. So I think he'll develop those. And dude's a beast.
Okay, OGR, go.
He was actually used. He was at
OGR is a big Penn State fan.
He was the primary.
I got a couple Penn State fans that I rely on too.
Go OGR, go ahead.
He was the primary guy that over Warren. He would start over Warren. So he was considered because the one thing about James Franklin I can say is even if the guy behind you is a better player, the guy that has some more seniority has a tendency to start in the Penn State offense. So
but he wasn't thrown a lot to. Warren was thrown to more. That's my 2 Penn State guys said. He didn't get thrown to a lot.
if you look at the wide receivers that he had, that would make you understand why. They relied more on their wide receivers, where last year they didn't have any wide receiver depth. That's why Warren targeted more. And plus, Warren's a better athlete than Theo, but Theo was definitely the number one target at tight end.
So Mark hold on, wait. Mark Hernandez's question. I do believe Mark Cooper is still available. He was asking.
Okay.
It was still available as a free agent. I believe he's still out on the free agent market.
T.O.'s available.
So Jerry Rice.
Josh Johnson's available too, right?
I'm still trying to get my NIL deal, so I mean, why not? But go ahead. But I believe
Lex, did you just say that the coach at Penn State doesn't play the guy who's better? He just plays the guy who has seniority?
Absolutely. If you look at
wow.
I believe Tyler Warren was a 100% better tight end at that point, even better than Theo. And I think he proved that by leaps and bounds when he got his chance. But, he was still started alongside Theo, but Theo was the primary guy. If you go back and watch, 100% Theo.
We got to thank Big Don, also Big Don from Texas, dropping in the 5 online Big Blue membership. So we got some people. Kareem is in the chat. I haven't seen Joe May, a couple of Cheyenne, Irish Mike. They all received that membership from Big Don. So we want to give Big Don a shout out. Big Don, thank you as always. And I want to say right now we have OGR Sports, T. Brad, James Williams, and the Joker all coming in talking New York Giants football. You see on the bottom, Ahman Green is a no-show.
Yeah, what happened with that? I missed
I'd give him the 12.
Give him the 12. Why am I getting? I gave him to 11:20. I emailed the producer guy. I checked the link.
Nothing.
There's a rant.
As a part of the black delegation, I would like to apologize for him misrepresenting us as tardy as a people. This is not the representation of the entire black delegation. I just hope his family and loved ones are safe and it's nothing serious.
I have to admit this, and Joker, you're going to be like, what the hell did I get myself into? This is the most amount of white people I've seen on the screen on this channel than ever.
There we go.
I mean,
it's about human rights. It's about everyone.
I'm not used to this.
It's about everyone. That's what I'm talking about.
We're a melting pot. That's what it is.
We are. We are.
Do we have any Asian brethren? We got to get them on here.
Well,
we got to get a representation.
I don't want to guess, but what about?
I was going to say, please don't, because I was thinking I was going to say the same thing. I think we do, but
I think we do.
All right, let's get some representation.
You have the ball right now, okay? So we can't have Slider call the ball right now. And if anyone else is out in the chat that is Asian American that would like to come on, you are more than welcome.
You don't have to be American. Racist. Damn nationalist. You damn nationalist. It is your show, so I can't make it. I can't get it.
You can be an Asian from Asia. It's okay.
You want to be an Asian for Asia? That's good. That's good.
It's okay.
When politically correct goes wrong.
You know what's funny? When I try to be politically correct, it always fucking goes wrong.
That was funny.
Now it's a party.
It always is a party at the OBV.
Wait, we got a confirmation. Tim, in the comments.
What's the confirmation?
Well, from Strider.
Oh, where is it? Let's see. Slider. Where is? I don't see nothing for Strider.
Oh no.
Oh, Strider is Asian. Slider is Asian.
Boom!
Bang! There we go.
All right. Wait a minute. The guy in the movie was Asian?
We are all hands across America here. We got everybody.
I'm very confused. Slider, are you talking
Strider, are you Pino? Are you Filipino? Like my other brother?
No, that's not Asian.
I'm just asking the question.
You fucking racist.
Yeah, of course I am.
No, I'm talking about James. That's
what I'm talking about.
Hey man, I got another brother who's Asian, so I could ask that question.
You have an Asian brother?
You know what that sounded like? I got plenty of black friends.
Joker's looking for. I'm hitting the exit button.
Joker's like, hey man, I got a podcast to keep up.
You want to take this ride with us, brother?
Oh, Joker, you here now, baby? You in the clan now?
I've locked
Oh
you in.
boy, I was just thinking about like how many times I've been called a brother from another mother. So I was like, does that count? Like,
Yeah, I got plenty of brothers from other mothers.
I get called that all the time.
Yeah.
I could get called that all the time from the guy in the bottom.
Look at Lex being politically correct. I'm just going to be quiet and not get caught up in.
OGR did go, well, at Penn State, they're not racist.
The Quakers.
They might be pedophiles, but they're not racist.
Lex was like, yo, they dropped the racist word. I'm just going to sit on the side. I can't be called racist if I say nothing.
He's smart.
Oh, that was great, fellas. I mean, I needed that.
It sounded like I don't see color.
That's the word. That's absolutely.
I don't see color. I'm a dog.
Dogs can't look up. Joker's still like. Joker's like, you know what? I had a successful podcast.
It was spurred. It was going good. I was looking forward to the summer.
Good. I got a few more followers.
Welcome to the party, pal.
And then all of a sudden, if there's going to be a call from the Giants.
Yeah, we that guest you was going to have on. Well, we saw you on the Online Big Blue Show, and we would like to say no.
No, actually, all guests, please come on, because then you can stop all this ignoramus stuff that we're doing. See, if we had a guest on, we'd be talking professional. Like, so you blame the guests for this if you don't like it, but if you like it, then you blame us.
Oh, I got Kareem. Hi, Kareem. What's up, bro? I miss you, man. What's up, Tim? How's it going, panel? Oh, and we're probably doing, since Kareem is in the area, we're probably doing another simulcast or game, whatever we did last year, over at the Shannon Rose. So we're gonna have dates on that when we're gonna do our another. We did such a great job. They wanted us to come back. I don't know why, but evidently we're gonna do that again. So, does anyone have any? Where's the Latinos? Well, my wife is Puerto Rican and Native American, so I could ask her to come on.
Yeah, we are a melting pot, man.
You've had a few Latino brothers on before.
You always do.
Yeah, Danny, what up? Mi hermano, ¿cómo está?
Oh my God.
Todo bien, todo tranquilo.
Oh my God. James just fell out of the room somehow. I don't know.
¿Dónde va?
Mira, what are you? All right. Do we have some giant questions?
You know what? I got one.
All right, go ahead.
Who are you excited to see? And I'm not talking about, I want to see Dart. That's pretty obvious. Like, who are you excited to see that probably everybody's not talking about?
Ahman Green.
That was too good. That was too good.
You know what? You told me to solve thing.
Let me rephrase the question and pull this in a little bit. Who on the current Giants roster for training camp are you excited to see play?
I got two.
All right, I'm gonna let Joker go first, and we'll go Joker, James, OGR, and then I'll go last. I'll back clean up.
Darius Alexander and Chauncey Golston.
Why?
Because I want to see what they do on that D line and with that pass rush. Because I think those are guys. Well, I don't think Golston is being talked about enough, and I think he's going to do some things. Mike McFadden was on our show and he talked about what those guys saw out of Golston when he was in Dallas, and I think he didn't get as much play because you looked at the guys in front of him. But he's a young ascending pass rusher that will do some things, and I like what he's going to do. So I think to see what they do in that D line. And Darius Alexander, was watching him at the Senior Bowl. And I watched the practices for Senior Bowl week, and that dude was just killing people, absolutely killing people. So I want to see what he's going to do next to Dex. So those are my two.
I just got to say one thing before you go, James. Why you got to be a dick joker? Ooh, I had a guest and they showed up. We had Mike and McFadden on, and he showed up. So, but that's all right, man. That's all right. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, listen, we did have a guest that didn't show up one time, so there you go. We got something
next week.
we got ghosted by somebody.
You got Thibodeau.
With your guest coming on Monday, I mean, you'll at least have 3 confirmations. Tim didn't get the third, apparently.
I got the email. You want the email, Celia? I will show you because I don't care if I get fired. People sit there and say to me, "Do you care if you get fired?" No, I expect to be fired. I will read the email on air.
Oh, we know.
I know you know. Sorry.
Yo, T. Brad, I want to make that joke about when the black guy walks in and he's like ready to quit, and he's like going in the office like, "Oh, you were late today." And Tim's like, "Oh, you were unprofessional today." I know I was.
No, I never heard that one.
I got to tell you off camera. I can't go into detail right now.
Oh, bad.
Yeah, let's
take that one offline. I'll be here.
Yeah. We did enough of that. But 2 players for me.
No, 1 player or 2 players. He gave 2 players because he wants to be a show off. But
okay. Well, I'll just give one. I'll say I want to see if Javon Holland is all the hype. The safety we picked up. I've watched. My uncle's a Dolphin fan. Has been since Marino. So I do pay attention to some Dolphin, things that go on there, but I'm not fully familiar with that guy. Maybe other distinguished members of the panel, I'm sure know better, or people in the chat. But from what I'm hearing is he's supposed to be good. I was looking at some rankings. He's in the top 10 as far as safeties. We definitely need help in the secondary. We're all hoping Banks bounces back, and the guy we picked up from New Orleans, he comes back healthy and adds to that. But if Holland is the safety that he's projected to be, I think we're going to have a good secondary. And I'm just curious to see if he's everything that I've been reading or hearing about.
Good, OGR. I just got to check that.
Right.
I'm checking my 3rd confirmation.
So for me, it's going to be, a guy who's been on this team a little while, and that's Darius Slayton, and seeing what his role is on this team. With a new quarterback, seeing how well he does. I mean, I was going to say Cam Scatterbo, but I mean, obviously that's not, underrated or, not talked about. But I mean, I'm most excited about Cam Scatterbo, but the guy I'm second most excited about is actually Darius Slayton to see what his role is. Brad.
Wait, to the host and the community director of Believe. Just wanted to confirm. Sunday, June 8th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That was confirmation 1.
Okay.
Great. I will have the link over today. Once again, June 8th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Heck yes. 3rd confirmation. All right, well, there's no fucking 3rd confirmation. I was hoping there was.
Oh, see, he is Filipino. What up, Slide? See that? Just want to point that out.
In a little bit of
He is.
In a little. He's coming on. Hold on. We're gonna slide. I'm gonna put the link in the chat just in case. You don't. Just in case you. I don't know where it went. Honeypot's in the chat. What's up, Honeypot? Let's talk kickers. But no, T-Brad, who's your guy? Who's your
honestly?
We're gonna talk
Juice Wells.
Yeah.
Juice Wells. I'm interested because I feel like our passing game needs to be dynamic, and I'm just looking for something different. Something, maybe we can get our next Victor Cruz. We've been waiting for years to get our next quote unquote Victor Cruz. So Juice Wells is the guy for me.
All right.
No Diddy, of course.
My guy, I don't got a guy right now. I've got it. I'm as the clock is ticking, I'm seething more and more. So I'm gonna take this fucking Green Bay Packers jersey off and go burn it in the backyard. But I'm just my guy. Yes. I don't know. All right, let's talk about kickers for the Honey Pots. We have the Graham Gano. Gano, who hasn't been healthy and off and on for the last couple of years now. He's still got that contract. You have the Scottish Hammer, who had a pretty good season last year. Directional punting, though, is not always his forte. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where we want to go with. I mean, I'm gonna start with James first. How are you feeling about the Graham Gano? Because Graham Gano at one point in time was our offense for 2 years.
Oh, thank you. You're gonna lead me right to where I was gonna go. Hopefully, we don't have to talk about kickers as much as we've had the last 2-3 years. I feel like we've talked about kickers on this team like they're the secret weapon, like they're our secret nuke in the backyard. And I get it. Gano He had 1 to 2 years where he was really good, and he was basically our offense because we couldn't score. But if we do have an upgrade at quarterback, we have better weapons, on the offense, and just if the team is in the camaraderie and everything is better, then I don't really want to talk about the kicker. I just want the kicker to come out and kick the extra point, kick the punt, hopefully not too many punts, and just go back to the bench. We talk about kickers on here like they're, like.
You guys, wait a minute. You guys, this is what we do on the show. You ask for something, we do it. You ask for an Asian, there we go.
Boom!
Yo.
Welcome, my brother. Welcome.
What up?
There we go. Sliders.
Slider. I'm sorry, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
What's going on, bro? How's your sister's dog?
She's doing all right, but she came to the realization on yesterday that she had to do something which is really painful for her because she's had that dog.
Well, you said 18 years?
18 years. She got it from the pound. So, yeah, what's crazy was when one of his tooth fell out, we were like, okay, seems all right. But then it became swollen, then it started to spread, and there was nothing we could do.
Wow. We've just recently had to had 2 dogs that had to be put down, and one was for 12 years and the other one was only a year old.
Wow.
So our condolences to your sister and to everyone, because that's dog, people forget dog. I have a heart. I know people think it's black, but I do have one.
Wait, you have a black heart?
I was waiting, James. Right when I said it, I said, James, shut the fuck up. Don't say it. Don't say it. And I'm laughing. Going,
Burn.
But condolences to your family, to your sister. Gives that.
Word, Slider.
Sorry for your loss, brother.
That's tough to go around because people forget how big dogs, how they become part of a family. I mean, that's.
Yep.
So, but getting off let's get on to the happier note, the Giants. We're talking about the kickers, the punter, everything else. How do you feel about the Graham Gano going into this season? Is he going to be healthy? Is he going to be worth the money? Are we going to go a different direction?
I hope he stays healthy. I mean, I don't know what other kickers are out there, but he's been injured for the last 2 to 3 years. So that's a lot that's what worries me. But also I worry about how inconsistent the Scottish Hammer is.
That's a pretty good accent right there. I got
Word. I like the way you did that.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
I was gonna go good, man. I liked it.
Most Asians are good. Voiceover. Congratulations.
What did you say, Lex?
Braveheart. I watched a lot of Braveheart.
What did you say, Lex, over there? Wait, what did you say?
Braveheart is the movie, man.
It is.
I want to hear what Lex said.
I said Asians aren't known for their voiceover work, so congratulations. That was
and just like that, we went
right back to you, right? Asians aren't known for being able to do that.
And that's why he stayed quiet.
Or maybe I know that accent because I did watch a lot of Star Trek where that one guy goes, "She can't take much more, Captain. She's going to blow."
Scotty, yeah.
Scotty.
Oh my God! Let's go to Joker, the punting and the kicking situation.
So,
got to keep this professionalism.
Great transition right there. Thanks.
Thank you. That's what I do.
Oh man.
Hey, listen, we saw 138 people in this thing, so let's go.
Well, hopefully, if Gano doesn't have to kick, 55, 60-yard field goals, he can stay healthy, and that'll help him there. We do. I know Ryan's Big Blue brought it. The name I was going to mention, Jude McNamara. He's the guy I think that could maybe could go to if we need to. But yeah, I think I'm hoping we don't have to rely on Gano. But listen, we're going to need a kicker. Like regardless, we're going to need somebody who can make a field goal. There's going to come down to the last second field goal, so we need him healthy. So he needs to stay healthy. I'm surprised they didn't bring, or I'll be curious to see if they bring anybody in for competition. I just think they like him. He is reliable, but he just can't stay in. He can't stay healthy, and that's a big concern for me.
So right now there's no competition for that spot. Then it's still Gano.
McNamara is the only.
They'll probably put someone in for camp too. I mean, you figure at least the first couple of weeks.
We hope so.
How about for punter then too? I mean, it's just punting, but we need a good kicker because you know how the Scottish Hammer is. It's okay. Sometimes it's good, and then you'll get some kicks where you're like, "What the hell was that?"
Well, you just said we got William Wallace, so we're good on the punter.
Oh,
Good.
We're going to rely on our special teams coach that, year 2 better. That's what we're going to rely on.
We have Mr. Sanders giving the applause, giving the laughter and the applause. Greg throwing out the black heart. Thanks, Greg. Greatly appreciate that, Greg. Luckily, I like you. Let's see here. I don't know where this went. This just went.
Wait, hold on. T-Brad, do you remember that movie with Denzel when he had the heart transplant with the dude from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Denzel was following him? You remember that Joker? And he had the black heart.
Yeah,
I think it's called Critical Condition.
It was.
Yeah.
It was like his second movie, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a.
T-Brad, you should have known that.
What was that movie?
I can't get them all.
It was Critical Condition.
I didn't get the kicker question. I'm still waiting for the kicker.
I'm calling up to you now. What's the kicker? There you go. You got the question.
All right, I've got the table. I've got the floor.
You have the table.
I have no idea who the damn kickers are on the Giants. And I'm going to just say it like this. I know we got Gano, and that's about it. I'm going to say this, and you've never heard me say this before.
Hey, who do we have? Slider, who's our kicker? Who's our punter?
Graham Gano for field goal kicker, punter, the Scottish Hammer.
There we go. I was going to see if he was going to choke, but there you go.
That's what she said.
All right, we got it.
I'll say this, and I've never said this before. I believe Joe Shane and Brian Dable are going to make the best decision for the Giants and get the right person in there for the job.
Oh,
I
didn't expect that. Kicking position. When it comes to the kicker,
are you trying to get my job on Believe? Is that what this is? Is this your interview?
No, those are the two positions I think they can do well at picking.
Yo, I didn't expect that from T-Brad.
Millions of views on YouTube, 10,000 plus downloads a week on Believe and everything else, and I can't get a guest to show up.
You got stood up?
I got stood up, man.
Something happened.
Again, I just hope nothing's wrong. I hope it's just a simple case of.
You watched the show. That was probably what went wrong.
I hope it's just a simple case of. Hey, sorry, Charlie Murphy. I was having too much fun.
OGR situation.
Blankenship is available in the XFL or UFL there, and he's pretty solid down there. That was supposed to be a joke.
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
But no, all seriousness, no, we do need to bring in competition for Graham Gano. But I don't know the actual contract. And didn't we actually re-up Scottish Hammer recently?
We redid. Oh, we re-upped Scottish Hammer. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's so I don't see us bringing in competition for the Scottish Hammer. So yeah, I think that Gano is the only guy you're going to bring in competition for if you're trying to replace your kicker. Depending on
guys, we don't do competition here.
No, we're not
we just bring guys in, and that's your spot. There's no competition here.
Okay,
that's going to change this year. There's competition this year. Maybe not for kickers.
This year, yes. You're right. This year.
I think also James is more referencing the quarterback situation.
Yeah, I'll say this. I'm way more excited for this year than I was last year.
He's on Indianapolis, so we can't say his name.
No, there's enough Giants fans still talking about him and rooting for him on the Colts. Good Lord.
Oh, isn't that so sad, Joker?
They go over there with him. I hope they go over there with him.
You know what sad is?
I want to go to Joker for that. Hold on one second. I want to go with Slider. I want to go Joker for that for a second because that does bug me because of the fact you talk about how Saquon Barkley was, he wasn't released by the Giants. His contract expired, but he went someplace else. And fans such as yourself will not say this name, that person's name. But you have some people with Daniel Jones that they're just so, I don't know. Is it like Stockholm syndrome? They're just so ingratiated with the guy that they want him to be good someplace else and not with the Giants.
Well, I don't know the age that the majority of the people on the panel or watch the show, but I think it's the millennial age group that don't know any better. They don't know what somebody good for the Giants is. And they're just like, oh, he's likable. He does these things, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to root for him where, I'm used to, again, Lawrence Taylor, Mark Bavaro, Leonard Marshall, Jesse Armstead, like those are the guys. If they went somewhere else, you're like, okay, I'm going to root for their success. Not a guy who was mediocre and didn't do anything here. I get the playoff win. Okay, fine. But other than that, there's nothing. Like I can't stand it. I don't understand it at all. It drives me crazy. And when I see it all the time, I'm like, he's not here anymore. Why are we talking about him? He wasn't an impactful Giant. He didn't win a Super Bowl. He didn't win shit here other than the one playoff game. That was it.
He won a playoff game, damn it.
In Minnesota.
My God.
On the road, probably against the worst defense I've seen in 30 years in the playoffs.
Carry that team.
He's being gifted the starting job at Indy because what's his name? Anthony Richardson's ass, and he's injured. Like I don't care. And if he does well there, it's not an indictment of the Giants. It doesn't mean that the Giants did him wrong. It means that he couldn't handle playing in New York. He was not built out. He did not have the mental makeup to play here in New York. He couldn't do it. So yeah, and he's another one. I'm not mentioning his name, but yeah, it drives me crazy. There's my little rant. See,
that wasn't even a good rant.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
That wasn't a good rant. That was not.
He kept it a little PC, but that was pretty good. Because Daniel Jones sucks. He sucks for the Giants. But he kept it PC.
That was PC rant.
Yeah.
No. Oh, and first of all, James, it just crossed my mind. Critical condition was Richard Pryor.
Oh, it was Pryor. It wasn't Denzel?
No, it was heart condition. I believe was
heart condition. Okay. Copy.
Was when Richard Pryor was the doctor or pretending to be a doctor. Yeah, that was
okay.
I was just thinking, what is it, Bob Hoskins?
And that's why I didn't know the movie.
Yeah. Copy. Okay, I was mistaken. My bad.
James, I got to keep you up on your black movie trivia. I got to keep you.
I know you have a black heart.
Corny.
He walked into that. I'm gonna kill him all week with that one, T-Brad. Thank you, Greg. You're a pirate, man. You got a black heart. You got eye patches. We're out here, man.
We're out here. Did you pay the plug though? Slap that like. Oh yeah, Razzle. What's up, Razzle? Great. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. We only have 35 or 50, 40 likes. We'll get 50 likes before we sign off, please. Because
y'all some lazy SOBs if you can't hit the like button. It's right over there to the left. There's a little thumbs up. You go like this and you push the button. It's easy.
Yeah, we're
already sitting here watching it, damn it.
And it's free.
And this ain't even OnlyFans. We got our clothes on and everything.
Hit the like button,
Listen, and I know some of y'all got subscribed to that, so you can hit the like button for our cult leader here.
I appreciate that, and we're gonna find out what happened to our guests. We're still checking the emails. I think OGR said I have to wait till noon because 10 to noon.
You got 13 more minutes.
Hey, Lex Luthor might know, so let's see.
All right, we're gonna go.
Maybe you'll get an email.
We're gonna go round robin here. We're gonna call Sliders got the ball on the bottom. What is the one thing going into training camp that you're hopeful to see, and what is the one thing you are worried that you're going to see?
Well, I'm hopeful. That I think I'm trying to remain hopeful that Theo's going to make an improvement. Like he's going to be like a reliable target, like an underrated number two. Like he'll make plays for take pressure off Malik. But I'm just afraid of what I'm going to see like from last year with our ground game, because yes. Like you said before, like everyone said, like it was the offense went 3 and out. But even when the defense started off the game when they started first, they got gashed. Like it was murder. Like it was always third and manageable all the time. And you're not going to get to the quarterback if you can't stop the ground game.
Those are all good points, and like I said, I think those are all good fears to have. James, we're going to start with you. We're going back over to James now. What are you hopeful to see, and what you are fearful that you might see?
I'm hopeful that the receivers and the quarterbacks get on the same page. I hope that they get some real camaraderie, and Russell Wilson, even Winston. We never know. Like, we need our backup, as we've seen in the past, to be able to come in and play, and win a game or two. if need be. But I'm hoping that our receiving core actually gels. What I'm worried about is I've been hearing a lot, and I do think Hyatt will be better. I'm more worried about Hyatt than Papa Smurf, Wandell, because the thing with Hyatt that I keep hearing is, he's going to have a great rapport with Russell because of the deep ball. But my thing is, can he go over the middle and catch? Can he, make a sideline catch? Can he, I need you to do something other than just run a straight line and catch a deep ball. So I'm hoping that the receiving core actually gels and with the tight end, like Slider was saying, and we actually have all components working together.
I like it. All right, Joker, same question. What are you hopeful to see? What are you fearful you might see?
Well, my hopeful along the same lines is I'm just hopeful we see a productive offense. That's really what I'm hoping about. Now with the changes in the quarterback, seems like that black cloud has been lifted. I just see a different energy from the players now with than I saw before. So I'm hopeful for that. We'll go a little different route with what I'm worried about. I'm worried about the injuries again, because that could be something that could derail us. We need to stay healthy, so I'm worried that something could happen with the guys we brought in, because there is potential here for some good things to happen. But yeah, so that's what I'm worried about. I'm going to see is that injuries.
T-Brad, same question. You may want to turn on your audio.
For me, I think I'm hopeful that the Giants go with their identity. They made a clear-cut thing to make defense be their identity. So I'm hoping that all these pieces that we got come together right. No didn't. They make sure that they defense is getting after the quarterback, and the backs are putting things in the treasure chest. So if that happens, that's the best scenario for the Giants as a whole. It helps the offense and everything like that. What I'm worried I'm going to see is I'm worried that I'm going to see that we can't run the ball. I'm going to be worried that Cam Scatterboo is, he's got all the heart in the world, but he's slow. He's small. He's not going to be able to be a Marshawn Lynch. I don't think that's what I'm worried I'll see. That we won't be able to run the ball, and therefore our offense won't be able to do anything. But our defense is good. So that'll be something I'll take, though. If the defense, I'll take that. If our running game is the only problem, and our defense is getting after it, I'll take that.
OGR, same question.
I'm actually, I shouldn't say optimistic about the defense, but the defense I'm going to kind of leave alone. Both mine are on the offensive side of the ball. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to run the ball and bring balance to the offense, and really be able to protect Russell Wilson. But I'm also worried about Russell Wilson because, you see these quarterbacks as they age. Okay, you see a dip down, and then you have that one catastrophic season. You think of Brett Favre. You kind of think of Aaron Rodgers with the Jets. I'm just hoping that catastrophic season does not happen with Russell, with us. I hope he can be better than he was with the Steelers, maybe similar with he was with the Broncos before that falling out.
I like that. Off Broadway says, I'm afraid Dable will call the plays and the offense will fall short. James Stein, I said, I just hope this team is a better season than last year. Let's go Giants. Off Broadway also says, I'm afraid Hyatt will be open, but I'm fearful Russ will not have enough arm with the rainbow to reach him. Does anyone else have that fear? Because I don't think if you watched Russell during the 2-6 run in Pittsburgh, I don't think it was the lack of arm strength that was his issue. But as you get older, and you are playing in the Meadowlands, well, not the Meadowlands, you're playing in MetLife. It's not the Meadowlands. It doesn't have that wind that it used to have. But is there any fear that anyone has that Russell Wilson just may not have, to Off Broadway's point, enough arm to hit those big passes that we're hoping for with Neighbors, Slayton, or Hyatt?
I do, because why did the Pittsburgh Steelers get rid of him?
Because they're getting Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just saying, they should have had a better backup plan there. But
T-Brad, any concern?
Concern with not really. I think what OG said is pretty spot on. You worry about Russell Wilson thinking he has an arm that he no longer has, and having the confidence to throw throws that he can no longer make. So I think that's a legit concern.
Joker?
No, I don't have any concern. I think he still has the arm strength. I think he's smart enough to know what he can and can't do. And like I said, I think people bring up Pittsburgh there's other factors that weren't related to Russell Wilson why it had what it had. I think he's going to be rejuvenated in this offense because Dable's going to let him do his thing, and I think Dable's excited about him too, and the players are excited about having him. So maybe he proves me wrong, but no, I don't have any worry.
James, any concern?
No, I think it's it is something plausible and legit to have a concern because he's older, but that's not the part that's has me really worried. No, I think he still can get it there when he needs to.
That's what she said.
Slider.
A little bit, but I just hope
no longer behind you. Now I hear the bird. It's no longer a crow.
Yeah, a little bit, because he did suffer that weird injury when he was with the Seahawks, right? And I thought it did affect sometimes how he threw, but I just hope Brian Dable can get the best out of him. So I just have a little concern over that.
All right, let's go to the last ones here so we can get out of here. T-Brad, I would see T-Brad, you're spot on with the Scataboo, says the off-Broadway. C. Sanders says, I'm hopeful to see the offense score more than 14 points per game. I'm worried about the defensive line showing up and working as a team. The defensive line, we have to admit, outside of Dexter Lawrence, this is not I think, James, you said it best. You sent me a picture of Brandon Brown and said he looks bigger than half the guys on our defensive line. I mean, is there any concern does anyone have concern that we are kind of a little bit of an undersized line outside of the likes of a Dexter Lawrence? Any concerns from anybody?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, of course. We went for finesse instead of fat. And sometimes you need fat, just like when you're cooking. You don't take all the fat off the meat. I think we're in this new era of everybody wants to like be slim and
get his head
but what happened to the pot roast? The guy that you just put in the middle and he just sits, the Vince Wilforks, in the middle and sit
Dexter
there.
Be pretty big this year.
Huh?
Dexter looks pretty big this year.
No, I know him, but again, we can't. I think Joker said this when you guys were talking before that, we were at one point last year leading the league in sacks, but a lot of that had to do with Dex. And I get it. He's a monster. He's an all-pro. He's a beast. But we don't want to have to put everything on him because he's going to get double teamed. We know that. He may even get triple teamed depending on what the Ghost Brothers do, So we went for more finesse than fat, and that's not to be derogatory. This is football. You need meat on the bones. And a lot of our guys are very, but they're not just big guys. Again, I say it a lot, and I'm sorry to be a broken record, and I'll shut up after this, but Justin Tuck, Human Ura, Kiwanuka, Google these guys. Look at them in their prime, like how they looked, their stature. Justin Tuck, going back to talk to the team, he looks bigger than these guys in retirement. So
that's what's sad.
I am concerned, like Lex said.
Here's the linebacking crew. Oh no, that's our defense.
They don't look tiny. Tibbs put on some weight this offseason. He bulked up in the chest. No, did he?
He did?
Wait for you to say you bulked up in the hair.
I was gonna say.
There's some photos. There's some photos out there of him. He got a little bigger upper body.
But no, go ahead. I'm sorry, OGR. Go ahead.
The fro adds 10 pounds. That's why it looks bigger.
Racist.
The fro does make him look like he's ready to go, though. It does make him look like
it's the stance. It's the stance, Brad. He's doing that. He's got the fro out. I'm out. I got the red pant leg. That guy is a master of just. I look the part. I look it.
Yeah, marketing.
Hey,
it's marketing. Thank you. So Jalen Hurts comes to block him.
Brian Bird's like belly of that thing. So maybe Brian Bird's bulking up. I don't know.
Joke, do you have any concern about the line being somewhat undersized?
No, I think they added some guys with some size that are going underlooked, like Ledbetter from the Jags, the guy from the Seahawks. I think where they're on the skill position, again, we're in a 3-4, so your guys on the outside aren't going to be huge guys. You need speed guys, right? So I think they have guys now, and Roaches is still there. He's not totally undersized, but I do think Ledbetter, he's a big dude from the Jags. And nobody's talking about him. So that's a guy that can come in there, add some size to that D line. And then I know he's got 3 names, but I forget, name escapes me now, that we signed from the Seahawks. I think he's got pretty good size too. But the edge guys and Alexander's a tall dude. Yeah, he's a lineman. Was it Robert Harris Johnson, something like that? I can't remember now. But Alexander's a good sized dude too. Huh?
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald. You got to watch out for guys with 3 names. But
I know.
We got Nunez Roaches. We got another 3rd name guy. So watch out.
Never played.
I think they've added some size.
So we think
Ledbetter's a big dude. He's like 300 pounds. I'm not mistaken.
Okay. We're just going to run through these last questions. Danny says 2-6 run was speechless with all those throws or sidelines, nothing over the middle, just dink and dunk. I guess that's in reference to our wonderful Russell Wilson. James Steins, Russell Wilson should be okay if he still has AK skills. He won't be on the Giants, or he wouldn't be on the Giants. Let's see here. I'm going to see if there's anything else here that's.
Wait a minute. We kept Daniel Jones for 6 years. You can't talk about if somebody didn't have skills, they wouldn't be on the Giants.
Let's see. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Ledbetter. Let's see more than. Okay. Let's see.
Listen, Tommy DeVito is still on this team.
Roy Robert.
Let's keep it real.
Roy Robert Harris. That's the. That would be. You know what? You always have to have the people like Ryan's Big Blue Podcast, and of course, if you haven't seen it, go. I went on Ryan's show the other day. That was a great opportunity and a great show. I think we had a really good time. It's 12 o'clock. We're out of here because I don't think our guest is going to show up. We're going to go the round robin like we always do for the final thoughts. We're going to start with the OGR Sports, giving us what's your final thoughts on the New York Giants.
I think Ahman Green will be here at 1 o'clock because he got confused with the time. Other than that, man, I'm just going to stay, even keel. I'm not going to get super excited. This team has a lot to do to prove me wrong because I do not have a lot of optimism.
All right. T-Brad, final thought.
Who we on?
You, T-Brad.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said. I'm sitting there like, pretty much.
T-Rad. No. Well, that Maui Wowie was great.
No, I did that earlier. So no. Honestly, I got pretty much the same sentiments. Like, all this speculation is fun. We're talking who's going to be this, who's going to be that. Just want to see it. What's going to happen? So I'll just wait, and hopefully that I'm wrong about a lot of the things I'm pessimistic about. So. And I think having my expectations tempered, like Brother Joker was talking about earlier, like if we go from like last to 15th in the category, it's not where you want to be, but it's much better than where you are. So keeping your expectations tempered is also good. So we'll see.
And as we see, make sure you hit the like button as well on the way out. Slider, what's your final thought?
Ooh, muted.
I like it. There you go. Now let's hear it.
Oh, my final thought. I just want to see improvement from the team, and I just want to see some fight because it was just hard to watch last year. That's all I want to see.
All right, James.
In honor of my favorite movie and favorite animal on this planet,
Jaws.
I wish that instead of calling us pirates, which I get it, motivation, and I was just having some fun in the chat with that Joker. I was just messing around. But good. I wish we would go with the theme of being sharks, because if you don't know, sharks always go forward. They don't swim backwards. And I feel like we've been doing a lot of swimming backwards here. So I wish instead of pirates, we were sharks, just always swimming forward.
And dogs can't look up.
Might as well do the Baby Shark song.
Baby shark. And you know, yeah, baby shark. No, just for T-Brad though. Before we get to the Joker, Jersey Shore. Tommy, just for the team.
I'll be glad when you get rid of that.
Wait for the beat to drop. Just for you, T. Oh,
Oh, I gotta turn that off. Listen, you do it Saturday Night Live. You put down there, Joker. You are old. Oh, I thought I was old. Oh, Joker, you have the fine. You are the guest. You are not only the wind beneath my wings. You're my Ahman Greed. So we're gonna give you the final thought of the day.
Okay. Well, so I'm going to say this is that I think this year we're going to see a little more psychos from the Giants. I'm excited about that. I think we're going to see a little bit more of dog mentality from this Giants team. I think there are crazies that have been infused into this team, and I think we're going to get what we need to see. We lack that dog mentality, and I think we have dogs now. So that's my prediction. We're going to see psychos, and we're going to see dog mentality.
Slider, who's behind you?
Nobody. I don't even know who that dude is.
Behind you. I was like, I'm saying now I'm seeing. I thought it was Ahman Green.
Slider, watch your six.
But I want a Joker. Also, I want you to give make sure everyone hits the like button as well. We still have 113 people watching this garbage. So, Joker, make sure you give a plug for tomorrow's big show. Or is it tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern time. We will keep an eye. If you're following me or if you follow New York Giants Rush, keep an eye out. We will make an announcement and confirm. We are supposed to have a special guest on tomorrow night. We're waiting on triple confirmation, so tune in. I think you guys, if he does confirm, I think you're going to really like who we have on. So you told me to do the plug.
Yeah, but you don't have to be a dick about it.
I'm naturally a dick. I can't help it. It's just natural.
Is it a pre-said?
What if Ahman Green goes on his show and he jerks you?
Dude.
there will be an explosion in the ether. One more
I can say it is not Ahman Green. At least that I'm aware of. It's not Ahman Green.
You positive?
As far as I know, it's not.
Ahman Green's gonna pop up. Yeah, I was supposed to do this show yesterday.
Yeah, unless there was a change, it is not Ahman Green.
No, they're gonna list this name backwards. They're gonna be like, it's Green Ahman. See, it's not Ahman.
Yeah, there you go.
I gotta get to Greg one last because I love Greg. Greg says, I'm in my late 40s and I've been so inspired by the Giants. I've been through some rough seasons. You didn't live through the 70s, Greg. But this, I'm going to tell you, no, I've said this before. This rivals the 70s. The 70s were bad, but there was a monicum of hope after 79. You had this hope going into the 80s. But I don't know. Ryan's podcast says, heading out. Nice show, guys. Joker, Giants Rush for the interview. He'll be there on tomorrow for the interview. I'll be on for tomorrow for interview because I'm going to call the Giants and tell the guest to cancel right before the show. See, look, there's someone behind you. There is someone behind you. In a red jacket, I'm not fucking crazy.
Some dude walking out. I know it's some dude. I don't know who that is.
I am.
It ain't Ahman Green.
Oh, fuck.
You said it ain't Ahman Green.
All right, guys, we're closing. Make sure no, and if you want to leave the chat, don't. But we always have a little after party afterwards. So if you want to hang out for a few minutes after the chat, make sure you do. Want to thank everyone for coming on. Want to thank OGR Sports. Want to thank T-Brad. Want to thank Slider. Want to thank James William. Want to thank Joker over from New York Giants Ranch. And I want to give a big F you to Ahman Green for not showing up or calling or writing or sending a text. It's all good. Fire me. All right, guys. We are out of here. Have yourself a good weekend. We'll see everyone. Maybe a show on Monday. I have no idea what we're doing yet. So I do have another announcement coming up. I think it's not. I'm going to quadruple confirm it. But I will probably be making another announcement, another different show announcement on Friday. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. I don't care. If you don't do it, it doesn't bother me either. So have yourself a great weekend, guys. We are out of here. Peace.